Gentani, and welcome to another episode of the Godfather Minute. My name is Alex Robinson.
And my name is Andy Robinson.
Together, collectively, we are the Godfather Minute Brothers. And before we get into Minute 2...
Oh, it sounds like such a small number, Alex.
It does. Minuto numero dos. No?
Due.
Due. Due. Sounds like pig Latin.
Yeah. Due ario me uzzo pe.
Before we get into the minute, we're doing a little bit of change in the structure here on the show.
Extra, extra, extra. Godfather Minute Brothers, change it up.
Now, those of you who are familiar with the show know that we generally will do the regular episode, close it, and then we will do some bonus content for our Patreon people. Now we're going to do things a little differently. We're mixing it up.
Oh, mix it up. Poor choice of words.
So from now on, every regular Godfather Minute episode, we're basically going to record one long episode. And for the regular feed, the free feed, and the YouTube channel, you will get about 25 minutes of content.
Yeah, give or take.
Typically what our episodes run, about that.
Yeah.
Sometimes more, sometimes less.
Yeah.
And if you're a non-subscriber, you get 25 minutes. If you're a regular, if you are, in fact, go to godfatherminute.com/support, you'll just get it one continuous listening experience. So
it won't be cut up with kind of a regular episode, closure, and then bonus episode. It'll be one long episode for those of you who have been gracious enough to financially support us.
Exactly. So if this is your first regular, enjoy, no matter what.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
But we want to make it very clear, Alex, that the people that are not financially supporting us, which is fine, they are not getting a smaller piece.
No, they're not getting a smaller piece.
It's still going to be about the same length of time.
There's something in it for them. They're going to get, they're going to still get the good old Godfather Minute content. Starting with Minuto numero due.
Due, you got it. By the way, I was wondering how many numbers you would remember, because you've technically learned 1 to 178 in Italian.
That'll be a good idea.
I should start keeping score and see if you can do it.
Oh, boy.
Let's try it. Okay. All right, try it. Well, let's go back. Do one.
Minuto numero 2. Due.
You got it.
All right. In minute due of Godfather 2, Michael continues reflecting silently on his rise to power, symbolized by the Don's empty throne and the opening titles.
Yeah, empty seat.
We then cut to Sicily, where a small band of mourners make their way across a rocky landscape.
They look like ants. They're so far away.
So small, like the little people down there.
Like the nickels and dimes. They're floating around down there in the little town.
What would be the opposite of a peasant? Was it a... big? How do you say big shot again?
Pezzo novante.
How do you say that? How do you say opposite? Like small man.
Oh, well, that's a 90 caliber, I think. That's what that means. Oh, I don't know. So it'd be like it'd be pezzo due.
Pezzo due.
Like a two man. Instead of 90 caliber. It's like a two. A due. Yeah, so I noticed right away the like buzzing of insects. Did you notice that?
Oh, like cicadas,
yeah,
or something like that. Yeah. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good impression.
Now that I do it, I realize I'm doing the sound effect like
Michael Winslow.
I said Mario Puzo, like Marlon Brando. They got the cicadas. That's how they sound, Johnny. Johnny, sing your next song in the.
I thought you were doing Sunny.
Oh. It would be great to have the Godfather actors also doing all the sound effects for it. They were what's the profession called, Alex? I know you wanted to be one for many years.
A licensed Foley artist.
Foley artist. It'd be great if they're all working together.
Now, are they doing it like after the fact, or are they doing it like on camera and
I
stuff?
think as much as they could do on camera would be great.
I think that would be an interesting way to do it. Like you have it, and it's almost like kids, where you just goes like, or like bang, bang.
Yeah, definitely.
That would totally be the way to do it. So, what else you got for this minute?
Well, I love that this opening shot because
The one of Michael.
Yeah. Remember, that was a thumbs down minute, as we said.
Right. That's right.
Which is still good, but it's not one I would. It's one I would not stop to turn the channel for. No, I love how this one. It's boom, Sicily, decades ago.
Yes,
It kind of sets the tone for or at least the opening of the movie. It's very old school, and it's reminiscent of GF1 when Michael was in Sicily. So I love it. It just, you could feel how dry it is and how slower and older it is.
Yeah. Totally.
So what do I have for the minute? I do have. I didn't want to bust this out so soon, Alex, but I do have something from the book.
Because the book is different than the movie?
The book is different than the movie. The book is different than the movie. The book is different. The book is different. The book is different than the movie. Yeah.
You got it, punk.
All right.
That's right. Are we ready to hit the book?
Sure, go ahead.
Alex, are you ready to hit the books? Start studying.
I'm going to college to get stupid.
Yeah. We had a lot of plans for you to go to college. Pop spent a lot of time and money getting your deferment so you could stay in school to get stupid. Okay. Okay, so as I said last time, Alex, in Mario Puzo's The Godfather, the original book.
Can I comment on that for a second?
Sure.
Because we've skipped past the title, which is we all know is worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I for the first time I ever noticed that it says Mario Puzo's The Godfather.
Yeah. And then part 2 comes.
And then part 2.
Yeah.
So the first time it ever occurred to me, are they implying that Mario Puzo is the Godfather? Because it's like Mario Puzo's The Godfather.
No, he's The Godfather Part 2.
Oh, well, he was also part 1, though.
So wait a minute, does that make him the last Don?
Yes.
Or is that Danny Aiello?
Danny Aiello, who's in GF2.
Oh, he is in GF2.
Yeah.
That's right. He's the second to last Don. I think we've made all these same jokes,
Yeah,
Alex.
probably
Come
many times. So the book is different than the movie, I understand.
Yes, that's right. So there are a couple chapters that deal in the past, Alex. Page 192, Puzo writes, in Sicily at the turn of the century, the mafia was the second government, far more powerful than the official one in Rome. You want to comment on that?
No, can I ask you a question, though?
Yeah.
In the book, which I understand is not similar to the movie.
It's similar, but it is different.
Is it a similar structure where we see flashbacks to Sicily and to old New York throughout the action, or is it all at the beginning of the book explaining his rise, or what's the story?
Well, this is just a couple chapters in the original book.
So somewhere, but is it at the beginning of the book?
Oh, no. As you know, Puzo jumps all around all over the place. It's halfway through. It's chapter 14. It's after a bunch of Johnny stuff in Hollywood. Johnny goes to Hollywood. And let me see, is it after? It's after McCluskey. It's right after Michael kills Sollozzo and McCluskey.
It's almost like instead of going right to Sicily, it flashes back.
It goes to Sicily in the past, but there's not really much in Sicily in this flashback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even in the movie, there's not very much.
Yeah, and he really just sets the stage. No, but there's even less in the book than in GF2, the film. Francis Ford Coppola does a lot more.
Can I have to say this before I forget?
Yeah, sure.
Because I was just guest starred on a podcast and the host made the suggestion. I was like, I got to remember this. Once we finish GF2, he was saying we should then re-release the podcast in the Godfather saga order. And then we would also have to go in and do minutes about those the deleted
The
scenes
new
and
stuff.
everything.
Oh,
So and
that's
then someone could
awesome.
listen to the whole thing in chronological order, even though our jokes would be out of order at certain
that's
times.
so awesome. I love it. Let's do it. I'm
Okay.
in.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were done, I guess.
What's funny though is when people will be hearing halfway through the saga, right? The saga where they'll be hearing my like prepubescent, like, yeah, and then Mario Puzo wrote on page 15.
It's true. We did watch you grow up. You grew up in front of America's ears.
I know. I feel like I grew up with the Corleones. I could have been a nephew Corleone. I could have been third cousin Corleone. There wasn't enough time, Alex.
Why Corleone it when you can Corleone it?
You gotta stop abusing that.
What do you mean?
It's a great line, but
It
it
is
has
a
nothing to do with you. There was nothing about lending or owning there. Come on.
Well, you said Corleones. Anyway, the book is different than the movie. How so?
Page 192, Puzo writes, in Sicily at the turn of the century, Vito Corleone's father became involved in a feud with another villager who took his case to the mafia. By the way, the mafia is capitalized.
Huh.
The father, I think that's Vito's father, the father refused to knuckle under and in a public quarrel killed the local mafia chief.
Oh, wow. That's very different than the movie. So
Very
far.
different. A week later, he himself was found dead, his body torn apart by lupara blasts.
What's Lupada blasts?
A lupara is that gun that Fabrizio and Carlo...
Oh, like a shotgun.
Yeah, it's like a shotgun. It's like a Sicilian shotgun.
Sicilian shotgun.
Say that 3 times fast.
Sicilian shotgun.
Oh, we got to revisit our Godfather tongue twisters. We did that one bonus episode,
Yeah,
remember?
that's true. Yep.
Is there a character that begins with Salazzos? Lupara. We'll figure it out. Puzo writes, a month after the funeral, mafia gunmen came inquiring after the young boy Vito. So no mention of a brother.
Yes.
No mention of a brother.
No.
They had decided that he was too close to manhood, that he might try to avenge the death of his father in the years to come. Then it goes on, but it has to do with other minutes. So
Yeah.
I think that's quite different. No older brother that gets killed by the mafia. I mean, it's not really consequential in the story, but it's a big change.
I think it, so one thing I learned from the Godfather Wikipedia page is that his brother, Paolo is the older brother.
Yeah, Paolo.
And, he was only 14 at the time.
Wow.
So it wasn't like he was like a man, but that just shows you how ruthless the mafia was, that they're, clearly want to kill the brother and they're going to kill Vato.
Yeah.
But the other thing it does is it sets up Vito as the younger brother who winds up becoming the boss. So
that is good. Do you
and
think
I think
that's why they added it in?
in one of the novels, I think they filled it out a little bit, and the relationship between Paolo and Vato was like Sonny and Michael, where Paolo was like the hot-headed, one, and Vato was more like, hey, come on, cool. Like, I guess he was like
Michael.
8 or something, so it's not like he was that. He was a really keen strategist. He's like, Papa always said, keep your enemies close.
Oh, that's so funny. All of Michael's dialogue was spoken by Vito, but 40 years earlier.
Just a slightly different context.
Yeah. Paolo, just don't tell me you're innocent.
And also to compare it to what we do see in the movie, which is that it says in the captions there, first time we see captions in The Godfather, that The Godfather, lowercase, was born Vito Andolini in the town of Corleone in 1901. His father was murdered for an insult to the local mafia chieftain, he didn't kill somebody.
Yeah, that's different.
That does make it more like, he's a noble guy who was standing up to the crime bosses or whatever.
Yeah. I could see going back to Michael or Vito saying Michael's lines years earlier. I can see Paolo and Vito back in Corleone, Sicily, at home, and a very young Vito says, "Oh, Mama, can you make Paolo give me the funny papers? It's my turn to read them." And Paolo looks over and goes, "Funny papers." Of course, he already has that voice. Oh, that'd be great. Paolo already has that voice. Funny papers. I'm the older brother. And that's why when Vito goes to America and becomes a man, he takes on the voice of his brother, who was his role model for a few years.
Or should be the opposite, where like the whole family, the Andolini family, they're all like singers and have great voices. Remember, they even show of Vito singing at Ellis Island, and then when he gets out, he's like, "Okay, I'm ready." Is the tragedy is that he's lost his voice. He used the word, and his grandson becomes a singer too.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
I never wanted this for you. You could have been Alto Corleone.
You could have been Maestro Corleone, MC Corleone,
Band leader Corleone.
DJ Corleone.
There wasn't enough blood on the contract, Michael.
You're spilling it. Paolo Andolini is the name given to his father.
Yeah.
That I've seen. 18. Oh no, and he
It's Paolo, right?
Paolo.
Yeah. Well,
No, that's his brother.
Yeah. Vito's older brother, Paolo, who gets killed.
Oh, sorry. Antonio is his father.
Is his father? Yeah.
Yes.
Antonio Andolini. But Paolo, after that opening scene, you won't see him no more.
It's true. He never doesn't show up anymore.
Oh, Paolo. What else you got?
Well, let's see. So here's a question for you. I always wanted last season we asked a lot of questions about me, got a lot of my business, and now I'm going to start asking you about your business.
What?
Who is the real Andy Robinson?
Is the real
Andy
Robinson?
By the way, last week you said the same thing, and I had to cut up the song and insert my name. By the way, when I do that, I usually have the song, and where it says Alex, I cut that out and put you saying Andy from when you just introduced it a second earlier.
Now, when you do that overdub, do you then have the overdub alert go on?
Oh no!
Overdub alert, overdub alert, overdub alert, overdub alert, overdub alert, overdub alert.
I don't know if it's an overdub. It's technically not an overdub.
It isn't?
It's a splice alert. Because you've already said it in a different part of the podcast. A splice alert.
So if I did. Anyway, don't evade the issue. We want to know who is the real Andy Robinson.
All right, go ahead. Ask me anything.
You are a musician, as we've established.
Yes, I am.
Would you like a job as a funeral musician?
That's not where I thought you were going. I thought you were about to offer me this awesome band leader position.
Oh, no, you ain't no band leader.
That's
Funeral
musician. Yeah, sure. Why not?
What instrument do you want to play?
It's not all I would want to do.
Well, in Sicily,
Wait,
I
by the way,
imagine
do we
it's
wanna
probably
save
a
this? 'Cause
lucrative gig.
Do we want to save this because in an upcoming minute we see the band
Okay, we'll
Process
save it.
Spy, right?
We'll save it.
Process Spy.
One more questions then for
Okay,
the.
but let me think about it.
Okay.
Because I want to.
Must be very lucrative because they have a lot of funerals going
They
on
do.
there.
Yes. Yeah. Let me think about it. Trombone I played trombone in high school.
And that's what you, because it also has to be an instrument that you would be able to walk around and carry.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you,
what's great about a trombone is it
you
can
go whoop 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 whoop.
that's always great.
At funerals, especially.
I know, right? You gotta liven it up, right? Make people smile. Who wouldn't smile or grin if they heard that? But it also, the end of it looks like a lupara barrel.
What's a lupara?
That's the Sicilian gun.
Oh,
Sicilian
right.
shotgun.
Oh, like a shotgun.
Yeah. So, I can like pump it with the slide and then.
Or I thought you were going to be like an assassin and like actually have a gun hidden in there. Like an air-powered gun. You like pump it. It's like a BB gun. You pump it and then you blow into it. And, then,
and the more you pump it, the stronger the blast
totally,
is.
yeah.
That's it. I decided, yes, I want to play in a funeral band and I want to play trombone.
Trombone, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
How about you?
Well, speaking of funerals, yes. I'll play anything in a...
But what would be your preferred instrument? You got all the brass.
I guess you know what? When you're in a band like that, I feel like drum is always a fun instrument to play. So I'll go drum.
Yeah, sure.
You know,
You wouldn't want trumpet or something?
No, too much breathing.
Breathing?
Too much breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, you only have so many breaths in your life. And then you die.
Oh, you're wasting
So
them
if you're
all.
using them all up, making toot 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 sounds, then you're going to be short at the other end.
But if you played trumpet, you could also wake people up. You can work for the army.
That's true. I guess the trumpet does get all the solos.
Oh, that's great. Trumpet's great.
Yeah.
And plus, you would now know how to play an instrument. Not that drum isn't a real instrument, but you could probably play the drum right now.
No, I can't. I try when I was in school. I tried to join the band.
Huh.
And I said, "What do you want to play?" And I said, "I want to play the drums." And they're like, "Oh, here's a little one of those drum pads."
Oh, yeah.
And
To
like
practice
do some kind of things. And I did like, and then they're just like, "You look more like a clarinet type than a drum."
Oh, man. Demoted.
Oh, I know. From the coolest instrument to like the right near the bottom. Sheesh. Anyway.
Yeah. Wow.
So, an interesting note, this movie opens up with a funeral. Mm-hmm. The first thing we saw in GF1 is a corpse jockey.
Yes.
So there's always a death, omen at the start of the movie.
Yeah.
That, we'll have to see if that continues in GF3. Although, as we learned, the beginning of first 20 minutes of GF3 are in fact a summary.
Well, maybe in the Coda version that we'll watch, they'll start with a funeral. Joey Zaza's funeral.
Oh, thanks for spoiling that for me.
I haven't seen it yet. I don't know. The death of the stock value. That's going to be the opening of GF3. Immobiliare. Yeah. So, do you think Americo Bonacera's would be grandfather is taking care of Vito's father who was killed? Is the corpse jockey for this funeral?
I wrote down the Sicilian version of Bonacera. It'd be like
and he's
be like an American guy. He's like, "Hey, listen, I love Italy."
Yeah, you overhear that at the wake. He's like, "I love Sicily."
I would never leave Sicily. His brother, of course, leaves for.
The parallels. I just realized what's so awesome. You pointed it out. That now we can compare GF2 with GF1.
Exactly.
It's a whole
yeah.
other body of material. We can
One
talk
thing
about.
we always like to do over in Star Wars land.
You're always comparing me to Star Wars.
It's just so much better than this. So,
I'll show you the Force.
Would you go to the Jedi Academy to get stupid?
What do you do over in Star Wars Minute?
Oh, we can compare. This is minute 2 of GF2. We can look at what was happening in minute 2 of GF2, and sometimes it's
neat.
interesting.
Yeah. Do you think that's all kind of coincidence, or like Dark Side of Oz, or is it deliberate?
Probably. Well, especially because when it comes to stuff maybe like the whole movie, there might be things, but like minute by minute, there's so many other factors. Like, there's the opening. Paramount, how long does the Paramount logo go on? So like something that might be in the Blu-ray version, it might be in minute 2, but in the original VHS, it might be in minute 1. So
that's cool,
I really don't think they break it down by minutes, but
as long as we don't geek out with it. I mean, you could go nuts. I remember.
Well, no, that's what we're here for. Let's
No, I mean like really mathematically weird. I remember listening to you recording Star Wars Minute once, and you were like, "Oh, minute 120 divided by the number of sequels equals the number of lightsabers in the second movie."
Oh, I think George Lucas did that on purpose. Nothing you could say can convince me otherwise.
Those guys took their craft seriously.
Well, one of the new features we were going to do is introduce as a more regular feature, a what if feature.
I love it.
So the question, we would take something that happens. It's going to be a tough one to start with because nothing really happens. But what? So
Let's throw out a few scenarios too.
Like what? What if?
What if Vito Corleone's father had not been killed?
Interesting. Hey everyone, this is Alex and Andy here
From the Godfather Minute.
and this is the end of the regular episode. We're fading out here. If you want to hear the rest of the episode, how much longer does it look like it's going to be?
Oh, Alex, it might be 20 minutes. It might be 30 minutes.
Might be 10 years from now.
Yeah, there wasn't enough time, Alex.
So if you want to hear the rest of the episode, go to godfatherminute.com/support, and there you'll get access to all the extended episodes we have in the upcoming season. Thanks a lot.